So everything with Triend is to how can we build a better review standard built on trust? So why should it be just this one-dimensional, bam, I hated this, or bam, I love this. Here's my 3 or 4 star. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You don't know, but I expect you to listen to me. No, it has to be open, transparent, trust, and that's what we really think is the right direction for this. I'm working in the travel industry now for quite a while, good old decade and a bit. I was always interested in travel from when I was at university, and I traveled to India when I was very young. And I've always had the travel bug. My first company was an adaptation from when I was working at an adventure travel company, and I saw that there needed to be something a bit different, right? So, and that built us into kind of understanding of seeing the value of all these places we were going around the world, and recommendations, and how the traditional OTA market wasn't working, not even just on the booking side of it, but really building that trust. So you had, this was about 4 or 5 years ago, when you start to see, I remember working with the likes of STA, and I'll be going in trying to explain about our product, and we're micro in this level of the monopoly of the big corporates that run this. So we were trying to explain to travel agents who hadn't done it or been there or been to these countries, and I watch these people sell stuff and try and build this trust from over the table, but they'd never been there. And then you've got the growth of, say, Instagram and TikTok, and you've got the people, and the people deliver the trust now. You don't need to go and book travel from an OTA, because you've suddenly now got this this TikToker, or if someone who on Instagram who's more of a trustworthy source. And then that kind of built us more and more into going, wow, the levels of trust are really broken, not only just the packages, but how things are pushed out there, especially in reviews. So I was living in Croatia at the time, and a lot of heavy tourist-based businesses were out there. For example, we rely on that 6 months. So I'd have friends with restaurants or hostels, and that May to October is game time, right? So you've got to get as much business and as much tourism as possible to float you for the winter, and your margins going and profit going onwards. So finding out with these problems with reviews, where you would have a restaurant from down the road who would be jealous, and they would maybe write 50 reviews on someone else, and more than anything, there's the line of negativity. So right, everyone writes reviews. More, the statistic is, I think it's like 1 in 3 that will write more of a negative review, because there's no excitement, there's no incentive, there's nothing around it. So we kind of, when we were developing Triend at the first level of working on how can creators build trust, that built us onto the core factor of trust, right? How can we get this broken system to be better? And that's when we really built onto Triend. So Triend started as the idea of peer-to-peer recommendations, where people could share around the world and actually create an idea and a value of their intellectual property for sharing, trustworthy, reviews and recommendations.
For someone who's traveling and looking to read reviews, what are the kind of tangible impacts that you see Triend having for them while they're on the road, when they're looking to book their trip?
It's better to find 4 people when you're traveling somewhere across the world, have like-minded, who you want to meet up with, who you have maybe similarities to in that small niche gap, than maybe even scroll through 2,000 TikToks and hope you're going to find something. So using that granular understanding of what people's wants and attitudes are is what we're really trying to build into this new review standard, to not only save people time, but give them more value and safety, and an overall better experience from the get-go.
On the other side of it, you have the businesses who, you mentioned it in Croatia. I think I've had a similar experience when I was working in East Africa, where you have basically some hotels that are going to play by the rules, and who are willing to just ask guests for reviews, and come what may, they'll get the review or they won't. And other hotels or other restaurants who just might say, every few days we're going to create an account, we'll create a review, and it'll just look like we're having a lot of success and people really love what we're doing, and they may or may not rise up the rankings with little punishment. How does the authentication of these reviews help Triend address this problem?
We break everything down with different metrics of the authenticity to give a total score of how authentic that is. And that is, and that's a wide range from simply, did they upload, did the user upload an image? Did they upload a video? Did they upload, in that video, what has the metadata being screened that they actually were at that location when they said they were? Outside of that, using proof of attendance, did they go that extra level to kind of scan and say they were there? And then breaking down these elements of just one of the metrics of authenticity can then give another user an understanding to go, okay, I want to trust this review, but I feel like I'm more likely to trust this review because it's had this breakdown of different metrics. And I think visual and creative, exactly like you're saying, Alex, is so important. Short form video at the bare bones of what we were looking at, 4 years ago and bringing into reviews is so important now, right? But the current, major review platforms, especially in travel, still just basically work on the wording. So using the AI to kind of have an understanding of was that person there, we're hoping will build back that trust in the percentage of the metrics to decide if you want to trust it yourself or not, more than just a generic vagueness.
The go-to right now for a hospitality business or a tour operator is to solicit reviews and just say, can you leave them on TripAdvisor or some other standard like Google? Yeah. And now you're suggesting that they can own their own reviews, like this decentralized process. Yeah. What are those conversations like? Are businesses open to it? Does it seem too new at this point in time?
No business wants to lose that 20% of commissions that they're paying to the kind of traditional OTA dominance. So anyone's open to, okay, so you're helping me, I can build more trust through my direct sales to convert. And there's a lot of companies looking to build the different tools on kind of the e-commerce level of how to drive direct sales. We're going to these businesses saying, hey, look, this person might come to your site. They might not have that full trust to convert the booking, but with our plugin, which is just one of the elements of our technology that businesses can use, we're hoping that's going to create more of the value to convert the sale. And we're by no means unaware that people want legacy platforms, right? Because TripAdvisor's done an amazing job in building trust. Booking.com people have. We want people still to make your Booking.com review, you'll make your TripAdvisor review for the legacy, but you've also got now a tool to help yourself, right? And you can convert that sale and now don't have to pay that 20% commission because you've got an added element of your own reviews from your people. Then that's what people are open to. A big element of what we're doing with Triend is to add in different standards, as I said, well, in the breakdown. So we want people to choose, is safety important? Is inclusiveness important? Is its authenticity important? Is sustainability? So giving a business that value to really see the core and offerings is that we're getting a great pickup. And what we do with Triend as well is we're not some data company that sells data privately. This is completely transparent. We want the businesses to have this data in relationship with the customer so they can understand their own reviews to operationally run better. So rather than having it closed behind the lines at a big corporate who might dribble them out information here and there. And that's where we're getting the great excitement from businesses from, because that could be a huge hotel chain or that could be a tiny little restaurant. And that's what we're very passionate about, is giving that understanding and the reviews, the surveys, the tools of communication to understand where to build better. And that could be at the levels of ESG and sustainability, or it could be purely that an operational impact needs to change. So where we built it with Triend is it's not a cookie cutter standard template. We let businesses choose what they want to ask the individual users and customers so they can get a better response for them. And that micro changes is what's really, really important, rather than just a block survey. Yeah, we really believe like reviews are so powerful, right? 9 out of 10 people will look at, say, especially travel reviews before they make a booking. But it's so closed and it's so centric, and there's not really the evolution of reviews. And that's really what we want to build. And that's when we bring in rewards-based elements of, of trends. So the more authentic you put in, the more rewards-based you get. So it's not saying, hey, we're going to bribe you, Alex, to make a review, and then you're going to make 50 reviews for a product that you're going to put on Amazon, etc., etc. We're going, hey, look, the more you can prove this is trustworthy, get rewarded for it. And that's where we bring in digital assets. We're kind of calling that digital memories of your review. So are you making a lot of sustainable focus reviews? Are you the first to review in a different location? And really make it fun, because reviewing is telling a story, right? You're telling your story to someone else to build a trust. So why should it be just this one-dimensional, bam, I hated this, or bam, I love this. Here's my 3 or 4 star. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. You don't know, but I expect you to listen to me. No, it has to be open, transparent, trust, and that's what we really think is the right direction for this.
I think there is still a lot of friction for leaving a review that some of the people that I've talked to, it's like you have to time that review just right. If you're asking a client to leave one so that they're, still fresh in their minds, but they're not so busy with their next activity that they're waiting at the airport or whatever the case may be, because otherwise there just isn't much incentive for them after they've already gone, unless they just really want to do you a solid, or like the negative points you mentioned out, if they really just don't have any other recourse and they just want to vent and complain, then that might be enough of a motivator. But if you can provide, as you're describing, the system where there are benefits built into just sharing more, to helping other people understand why you went, what you got out of it, then that helps to kind of reinforce a better kind of review ecosystem.
Exactly, and then that's one of the elements of utilizing Web3 technology is creating, generating token that can be not only used, okay, you're making a review, I can only spend it on Trend. It's no, you can build this kind of like rewards-based system where you can spend it in different places to further your travel. So now you're connecting more of this, circular system rather than what's out there. And I think the elements of blockchain and the cryptocurrency do bring that, and it's not a reliance we want to have on that. We don't want to go, hey, we're going to make all our company successful based on cryptocurrency. But we believe there's definitely an element of adding fun, gamification, rewards-based system, but giving people those lots of options on the table, rather than, hey, you've made a booking at booking.com, you've now got a reward points to spend at booking.com. We want to open the table. That's why we want to work as many businesses as possible to give them the trust, but also, create more of this, open playing field. And that's what, in all of the industries, we're hoping and believing Web3 technology will kind of get us to.
How can people get involved in Triend this year? What's the kind of timeline looking for the next few months or for 2023? We're
launching the web application at the end of next month, which will be where we want that to be kind of the first understanding of what's a Web3 decentralized review platform look like. Okay, I can have my wallet and I can make fun. I can build reviews to get badges. I can see how the standard works. So that's going to be kind of our education piece that we'd love people to come and trial and put their reviews up and help us build this trust system, because it's not an us thing. It's a standard for everyone, and that's why we're introducing a DAO to our company, so people can have the right say and the right understanding of where Triend builds to. So we'll be launching our digital collection to kind of give entrance and value to people joining the company in terms of the DAO moving forwards. And for businesses, we'll be looking for select partners to really trial Triend and trial the plugin. Is it helping them convert sales? What do they like? What do they not like? This is getting the product right for not only people for trust, but businesses to build trust as well. So please, if anyone wants to get in contact, either businesses or consumers who are interested, would love to hear from you.